Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies and television. I'm your host, Christian. Join me are my co-host, Joseph.
Yellow.
And Jehu. No Ian this week. He's going to play with all of our hearts on a weekly basis, I believe. But we're here to discuss Suicide Squad, the latest from James Gunn. Jimmy Gunn, as everybody knows him. Yep. And kind of reboot, sequel, reimagining of the Suicide Squad follows a ragtag team of ne'er-do-wells as they try to take down a cartel-like character while also fighting giant alien space monster. Yeah. A lot of famous people. I don't think we should say them all because most of them are only in the movie for like 5 minutes.
I know, that's super fair. I will say, to your point about it being, kind of a reboot, but kind of a continuation, I feel like they absolutely would have pulled the full reboot trigger if Margot Robbie wasn't so profitable as Harley Quinn.
I mean, she really isn't profitable as Harley Quinn, but I think everyone generally likes her. I think Suicide Squad, the original, has been the only financially successful movie that she's been in so far. Yeah,
I think merch-wise, though. I mean, have you ever seen a Hot Topic?
That's true. I've been in one.
We talk about Hot Topic like once a week.
we shit on people who like Hot Topic, but we talk about it so much that maybe we like Hot Topic.
I think we might actually like Hot Topic. I've been in there recently, and I do like a lot of the shit in Hot Topic.
I 100% like Hot Topic. If they were a little less proud of their shit on like t-shirts, like if it was, $2 or $3 less on t-shirts, I'd probably dress mostly in Hot Topic shit.
Yeah, they have Critical Role stuff now, so I really can't shit on them too much.
Yep.
But the Margot Robbie, as we mentioned, John Cena, Idris Elba, Peter Capaldi, Joel Kinnaman, Viola Davis.
The voice of Sylvester Stallone.
Yep, David Dasmalchan. I don't know how to say that guy's name.
Yeah, that's a good try. I don't know either.
And then the girl who played Ratcatcher, and I don't know her name.
Yeah, this is kind of her like breakout role, I think.
And then there's a bunch of other people, Nathan Fillion, others.
Well, yeah. Nathan Fillion and Michael Rooker? What is this?
Yeah.
Michael Rooker, yeah.
Michael Rooker, because it's a James Gunn film. I don't think he can make one without those two in it. Somehow.
I think it's contractually obliged, yes.
Amazingly, fucking Elizabeth Banks wasn't in this somewhere.
Thank God.
So happy. So happy Elizabeth Banks wasn't in.
What if she got shot in the face, though,
Oh,
that's that might be fun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She could have been Mongal.
Oh, yeah, that's really good. Flula Borg and what's his face from Saturday Night Live?
Pete Davidson.
There you go. I like his getting exploded. But yeah, what were our impressions of this film, guys?
I'll go first. I'll have to say, I was a little disappointed in it, only in that I thought it was going to be fucking great, and it was only good. It was a good movie.
I think that is exactly where I landed.
I'm so disappointed because that's exactly where I landed as well.
Oh, no.
I was hoping that you guys were going to love it and then I could come on and just shit on it.
This is why we needed Ian. Ian sounded like he really loved it.
Yeah, so my real opinion is that if you liked this movie and you thought Birds of Prey was shit, well, then, my friend, you are a hypocrite because it's the same movie. I've already watched this movie. And it just I don't know. It was good. It was good. I think the internet's really ruined it because people are calling it it resets the comic book genre. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a fun, enjoyable time. But it's not The Dark Knight. It's not Infinity War. It may not even be as good as Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's not.
It's fine.
The Guardians of the Galaxy is in Steven Spielberg's top 5 favorite movies.
That kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense. I just am really surprised he has watched it, knows about it, and thinks that it should be. I'm just surprised it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I didn't really enjoy this movie. I did really enjoy this movie, but I don't think I was alone in this. Definitely in my house, Sarah was sort of the same way, maybe more so, that we were expecting Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn, and we really got Slither James Gunn. And yeah. I like that James Gunn. I just don't know if that's exactly... I think the first Suicide Squad really missed the point and missed the value of the idea of you have a bunch of B-list villains and then you can do with them whatever you want. You can kill them off. You can treat them however you like. This almost feels like maybe it overcorrected. Like it really, you know, and without getting into spoilers, I think there were just some of the kills that should have been played for feels and instead were played for laughs. One in particular that we'll get to in spoilers.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's just funny you say that because I mean I had the exact same thought. You know, Guardians plus Slither, which if anyone out there doesn't know what Slither is and hasn't seen it, I mean, I don't know if it's one that I recommend. I don't know how I feel about it, but it is an experience. It's definitely like James Gunn making a gross out horror movie and like just leaning in as hard as he fucking can. Right. And I mean, it's a horror comedy. It is funny, but it's also quite gross. And like I think I wanted this to. I mean, they do lean into the R rating as far as like the the violence and stuff, but I feel like story wise, I wanted it to be a little bit more villainous, I guess, than I think it ultimately turned out to be.
Yeah, I think you guys are kind of briefly hit on this, but I think one of my big issues with it is it didn't really feel original. Like it's James Gunn at his James Gunniest in that it's absolutely bits from Slither, Super, and Guardians in a new package. It's just all three of those movies combined into one in this film. And then again, I think there is a lot there that's kind of taken from Suicide Squad and taken from Birds of Prey. And the reason why that kind of annoys me is because I don't know what this movie is supposed to be. Like, just tell me if it's a freaking sequel or tell me if I'm supposed to ignore everything that's come before it, because this kind of just feels like a reimagining of the two things I've already seen. And maybe that's what it's supposed to be, but tell me that. And the intentional, like, leaving it up in the air, it frustrates me. We'll get into it in spoilers, but I also did not enjoy Bloodsport in this movie. I was not a fan that he was the lead character, and we'll talk about more of that in spoilers, but it was fine.
I will say this about Bloodsport. Actually, Amanda Waller says something to him very early in the movie that really spoils where the movie is going to go. It just broadcasts it in like block letters, and it was something that I was really surprised I was not a fan of. So I guess that's going to answer my question on this, because I was going to ask you all, both of you all this, but you kind of already answered me on this. Is this finally the movie that justifies our love for Idris Elba? And I know that Nips had already kind of lost faith on Idris Elba a few months ago, but I did like Bloodsport. That was probably one of my favorite parts about this. And I was kind of like, man, this is finally going to be it. This is going to be the thing that makes Idris Elba a real thing. And then now it turns out it's probably failing. So
yeah, it's probably not going to be that, but that's just kind of the curse that he runs around with, I guess.
But he's got knuckles.
It's true.
He does have knuckles coming up. That's true.
Echidna. I'm with you, Christian, in that I feel like I don't think Bloodsport made a particularly compelling lead, but I don't necessarily think that's Idris Elba's fault. I feel like there are characterization problems in this that I want to like dig into how I think they could have fixed them. But I think Idris Elba is fine. Like, he's relatively charismatic. He's pulling about as much weight, I feel like, as Will Smith pulled in, the original Suicide Squad. But I just don't like what they do with this character.
100%, I'm with you. I'm not saying it's Idris's fault.
God, we're boring ass people.
Yeah,
all we do is agree with each other.
It's not him. It's the character. And I mean, listen, I want to just get into spoilers since we're on this conversation.
Fuck it.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but someone, like, a picture came out yesterday of like James Gunn, like early on, with shots of them on the beach. Bloodshot's not in it. It's Deathstroke who is leading Team B. And what's so annoying to me is I feel like the chain of events that happened in this movie was, A, he pitched it to be Deathstroke, and either it was too close, oddly enough, to a storyline in Titans that was going on with that character, or B, Joe Manganiello couldn't fit it in between the gym and D&D. And then they went back to Will Smith and he said, no, I'm not going to do it. And then they settled on this, and they didn't change a single thing about the character, because the Bloodsport storyline can fit both Deathstroke and Deadshot. And you would change absolutely nothing.
That is a really good point, because I was already going to rag on that it was, and actually I wasn't going to rag on it. I think it's kind of awesome that they just plugged him in and didn't probably have to change a word of the fucking motivation for Deadshot, but it also does totally work for Deathstroke too. That's pretty great.
Yeah. And that to me just felt lazy. Like, it didn't. Everyone else kind of has a moment where they deserve to be there, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that Bloodshot does. Like, it could have been these other two guys, and may have been a little bit cooler if it had been the other two guys. Like, give me Idris as Deathstroke. I thought that would be badass.
That would be pretty badass. I mean, look, they don't do a particularly great job of making him seem effectual beyond like killing low level goons. Like in the big final fight, he is useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm really not as hard on that as you guys are, because I really had fun with him as that, and I was fine with it just being a plug-in of the exact same motivation as Deadshot. I kind of thought his shtick was cooler than Deadshot. The sort of modular armor with the various weapons. I thought that was a cool shtick. I liked.
That was pretty fun. I do wish that there was more of it sprinkled throughout the movie, as opposed to mostly just at the end.
Right, that's true. That's a good point.
I did like that.
Let me ask you guys, since this is such a big cast and so many new characters, who is your favorite? Who is your standout?
Man, okay, this is one of the things I wanted to talk about in spoilers, and
let's say if we haven't already, we're spoilers at this point. Fuck it.
Yeah, we're spoilers. I can't believe I'm saying this. I fucking loved Kinnaman as Flag.
Me too.
He was really good, and I think it was a dumb bonehead decision to kill him off. I know it was to show that everyone's expendable, everyone can die, but man, they just made me like that guy, and you kind of need him going forward. And that's what I was talking about. Like the Amanda Waller dialogue early on is like when she says, "I know you can be a leader." It's like, why the fuck do you need a leader? You already got a leader. Oh, you're telling us that dude's going to die. Which at that point I didn't give a shit, but then I became really fond of him. And I think also, if we're going to try to do the Peacemaker spinoff show, man, it's going to be real hard to get me to root for him after he killed Flag.
Yeah, that scene with the two of them is the best scene in the movie. Like, they're both really great in that moment.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I think like the movie tees up, but like does not deliver on it all, because we've kind of established, despite the fact that you could have done anything with your cast, you could have brought in any number of villains with any number of power sets or whatever. You brought three guys who are elite military types who just shoot stuff. Right. And they're the same character. They're all the same person, but they're all like slightly different, right? In the sense that Bloodsport has gone off his own way. He doesn't follow what the country tells him to do, what the laws tell him to do. He's got his own moral code, and he follows that exclusively. You got Peacemakers on the far other side. He is just pure patriotism. I will do whatever my country needs me to do, no matter how horrible it is, because I believe in the institution. And Rick Flag is kind of the middleman between the two, where he still has a conscience, but also believes in the cause.
Right.
And I think like they absolutely could have like done stuff with that would have like developed like why those conflicts are interesting, and like how each guy got into their, where they are, and why those different opinions are valid, but also like interesting. But they don't fucking do that at all. And it's just such a waste to me. Like, especially since we established early on that Bloodsport and Rick Flag were like military buddies, and we don't get any fucking like fun times with the two of them. I don't know. I was just really disappointed, because I feel like there was a lot set up there, and just nothing was delivered.
Well, what's interesting, Joseph, to that point is they literally give you a scene telling you that exact thing on a silver platter when they're all been arrested together, and they can all do the death move at, the kill move or whatever. Like it literally is saying, hey, these three guys are extremely similar, but all a little bit different. But I don't get any moments really with Flag paired individually with either of those guys. And I don't get payoff. Like I don't,
right. Yeah.
It's that is an interesting dynamic that you have three characters that have similar backgrounds and end up in different situations that you could really establish, especially between two guys who are supposed to be old military buddies that die completely, spend the whole last third of the movie separated from each other. It's not a good decision to kill that character, especially if you make a good movie where generally everyone seems to like it. You're probably going to get a sequel, and you've kind of killed off one of your main storylines.
It was the only thing I've ever liked Joel Kinnaman in. Ever.
Well, and he was just such a zero in the first one.
I know.
So it's such an accomplishment to make him not only likable, but kind of the most compelling character in the movie, and just to throw it away for sort of a cheap kill.
And by the way, that's not even the cheap kill I was talking about. I was so excited to see him die at the beginning of the movie, and then I was so sad to see him die at the end of the movie.
Yeah. What is the cheap kill you were referring to, Hurt?
Well, I'll wait a little later that because I wanted to say one more thing about that, about the scene. For years, John Cena has, since he basically became a big, huge star in wrestling, they've resisted turning him heel. And man, they really should, because he knew how to milk that moment.
100%.
Like he was waiting for the crowd boos. Like he knew exactly. He was totally the same guy he'd been the whole time. He just finally let you see it. It was, I thought he did that really well. I like John Cena a lot. No, the one I thought that should have been played for feels, but instead was played for a cheap laugh, was when they killed Polka Dot Man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Polka Dot Man, they had really, he had probably gone through the biggest arc of the movie of just being a fucking lunatic to being very sympathetic at the end. And, he does his I'm a superhero line, and then they just squash him in a scene they had already shown us in the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good. They had already just gotten a big laugh before that when Bloodsport points to Starro and is like, "Look, it's your mom," and that's very. I was laughing to that part. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah,
I do think this movie. I feel like the humor is probably a bit too much. I think that it really builds up some dramatic moments, and it kind of undercuts them with humor. And in some regard, I'm like, okay, the property deserves that, but also like, you did a pretty good job, and you have actors who are doing. I think this might be like Kinnaman and Cena's best performances.
Yeah,
and why undercut that with a joke 30 seconds later? Like, I don't know.
Well, speaking of good performances, I've never really cared about Margot Robbie one way or another as Harley Quinn, but I feel like she got it right in this one. It wasn't just a hot topic jerk off. And it wasn't just a pseudo empowerment thing. It was like a thing somewhere sort of in the middle that worked.
It's a real tightrope. I feel like that character. I think she pulls it off really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a Tarantino vibe from this movie?
I can see it, but
I just think, there was kind of some grindhousey stuff to it. There was some kind of 70s stuff to it. And there was a lot of Margot Robbie's feet.
That's fair. I see. To me, I think the most Tarantino-y thing about it is the structure, because it's not very 3-acty. It's very
that's true. Yeah,
just sporadic acts that happen when they happen, and when they're done, and then at some point the movie's over. Yeah, I did not. I've kind of just grown very weary of the nonlinear storytelling for the sake of gotcha moments.
Right.
Hurts, really, you're the one who swayed me on this, because you're talking about how a good mystery needs to give you everything along the way. And if you don't figure it out, that's a good mystery, but all the info is already there. But when you don't give me the information and then in 20 minutes say, oh, by the way, this was happening the whole time. Gotcha.
Right.
You didn't get me. You didn't trick me. You didn't provide all the details of the joke. And so I didn't care. I didn't care for that part of this movie. And it's one of the things that I think Birds of Prey is a nonlinear story. And I think it works better in that film because it has an unreliable narrator in Harley Quinn. Of course, she doesn't remember shit the right way. And I think don't try to give me the joke and give me a linear story, or tell a better story where you can give me the bits and then I won't figure it out. I don't like withholding information just to try to trick the audience. And this movie did that a lot.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think it's fun the first time they do it. It's fun with the massacre scene on the beach, which I was also bummed that, friend of the show ish, Jay Courtney went out so early.
Right.
I kind of knew it from the trailer.
Also Jay Courtney's best role.
Yeah, Jay Courtney's best role.
I would have thought Boomerang would have been a character he couldn't have touched. And
right.
So it threw me for a loop, but I also really didn't want you to kill him because I like that character a whole lot.
Yeah.
Right.
To Hert's point, I feel like, like you said, the massacre scene at the beginning is just like, it's a pull the rug out from under your moment. It is played for, just like a big laugh. And I mean, I think it works on that level, but it also, unless you were just going to have an even bigger cast than you already had, it removes the opportunity down the line to do like the traditional Suicide Squad stuff of people like just dying randomly along the way, because you're stuck with your main people that are like your heart of your story. So like pacing wise, you've kind of shot yourself in the foot.
That actually is a good point, because where they killed all those people at once, you kind of knew that everybody you got after that was sort of safe till the final battle.
Yeah.
So to your point, Hurt, about the Polka Dot Man kill at the end, I don't know if you saw on Twitter or whatever this past week, but it was supposed to, in the original draft, it was going to be Ratcatcher, who's killed at the last second. But James Gunn felt like he couldn't do that because she's the heart of the movie, which I totally agree with. I think that's a good decision. But my solution to that would be, one of my general issues with this movie is, despite the fact that Bloodsport is constantly talking about what a bad dude he is, he's never actually shown to be a particularly bad dude. Right. I would like him to do just some more senseless violence, or just like truly cold-blooded murder, just to kind of prove that he was bad to start with. But like, I like the idea at the end of the movie of like this heart of the movie, this Ratcatcher who has kind of brought people together with just like goodwill and faith in other people, to be not necessarily killed, but maybe taken out of commission and presumed dead. Right. So that then the rest of the cast realizes that, oh shit, even without the actual heart of the group here to like, show us that we're being better people, we actually have become better people, and we're going to fight for each other and for these strangers we don't know. And I think that would like land better. I think that's a better impact moment. And then you should still be alive at the end somewhere. And you don't have to kill Polka Dot Man.
Right.
What did we think of Starro?
I loved Starro. I loved that it was ridiculous and also horrifying.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I really enjoyed that bit as well. I would have been fine if it had just been Starro the whole time. The weird coup South American cartel kind of shtick I didn't really care for. Right. But I thought Starro was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a fun reveal. The stuff going on, like the quote unquote research lab, is fucking creepy as hell.
Yeah.
That was the most Slither, I think, of the movie.
Yeah, it was absolutely Slither. And Peter Capaldi just played the Doctor but evil there, which was pretty great. But I also feel bad that guy will never be able to play anything else for the rest of his life. But we got anything else that we have to talk about on Suicide Squad?
The last thing I got, what has James Gunn got against birds?
Yeah, it's a running theme in his movies.
Kills a lot of birds.
Kills a lot of birds. Yeah.
I do like the Chekhov's javelin in this movie. I thought that was very fun, because it's like if Chekhov put a gun in his play, but then also in every single scene in the play from beginning to end, somebody was like spinning it or pointing it at people
and asking how the gun worked.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I think it's better than Transformers.
I was about to say, we've talked a lot of shit about it. That's the thing. I think it's frustrating because it's close to being something a lot better. But yeah, I just think a few small tweaks would have made this a really great movie. But instead, it's a good movie. It's better than Transformers, but it's not particularly memorable.
The problem with this movie is not the movie itself. It's the internet. Like, everything is either the best thing ever made or the worst thing ever made. And nothing is ever just fine. And so everyone's like, this resets the entire DCEU. Watch out, Marvel. Like, no, it doesn't. Like, I probably enjoyed Loki more, a TV show Disney just put out, than I enjoyed this movie. I'm not jumping ship to the DC universe yet. It's a good movie, and good for him for finally making a good one. but that doesn't have to be the storyline that we've made it out to be.
Right. I mean, it does. I think it sets a good precedent of, getting good filmmaker, let them make the movie they want without it being some bullshit like Joker. Like, let them do what they want up until the point where it's Joker. Then don't let them do that.
Well, cool. That's The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad with canceled guy Jared Leto.
Right.
I don't think
is he canceled now?
No.
Oh,
we've canceled him. Yeah,
okay.
We've canceled him, but
Twitter's canceled him. Well, cool. What have we been watching this past week, guys?
Oh, I have a special round of what I've been watching, which is the Disney ride adaptation trinity. I watched Jungle Cruise, Eddie Murphy's The Haunted Mansion, and Pirates of the Caribbean this week.
Awesome.
I'll go chronological how they were released. So, Haunted Mansion, that movie's bad. It's really dumb. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. It's worse than Transformers. It does have some like odes to the ride, like Madame Leota is in it. The graveyard party scene. They sing the songs. Like, there's a lot that honors the ride of Haunted Mansion, but the whole plot of like it's a realtor who really wants to motivated to sell the property, that feels too real. And I don't know. I don't love it. I probably never watch it again. Worse than Transformers. Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a great movie. It's almost 20 years old now. Still holds up. Still looks great. Jeffrey Rush is still phenomenal in it. I do wish there was a bit more relation to the ride in this, because it almost shares nothing besides like the dog who doesn't want to give them the keys. Everything else is basically different or has nothing to do with it at all, because there's not really a storyline in Pirates of the Caribbean the ride. But I would have liked to see it a little more like, oh, this is where it comes from.
I'm not sure the character of Elizabeth Swann ages particularly well.
Yeah, I mean, I whatever. It doesn't offend me any, but it's fine. It doesn't offend me more than Keira Knightley herself offends me. How about that?
So maybe it's perfect for you.
Yeah. Jungle Cruise. Ian said it's very Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think that's true, but it's really romancing the stoner African queen, if you've seen either of those movies. Like, it is very much romancing the stone. And the whole plot of, like, English lady rents a boat, and, there's a relationship with the skipper. That is the plot of African Queen. That's also the basis of Jungle Cruise, the ride. So it makes sense why that would be so much there. In this one, they literally do the ride. The Rock literally does all the same jokes, backside of water, stone, it's granite. All of that is taken directly from Jungle Cruise, the ride. And I appreciated that. I think it has some fun twists and turns. The Emily Blunt and The Rock are great together. I don't know. It's a fun action adventure movie, and we don't really have those anymore. I'm glad to see that genre come back. I like The Mummy. I like, oh my gosh, what's the name of it? Nicolas Cage is still the Declaration of Independence.
National Treasure.
National Treasure. I like those movies. It's just, they're just fun, good times for me. And
right.
And I think Jungle Cruise is in that action adventure vein, and I'm glad to see it come back to it. The only other thing I watched was a anime movie on Netflix called Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop.
Oh, was it good?
It's pretty good. It's about a kid who like can only process his thoughts in haiku, and he meets a girl who she is like a kind of like an internet celebrity, and because of her smile she has big buck teeth, but then she decides to get braces, and she's like embarrassed and ashamed of it, so he wears headphones the whole movie and she wears a mask, and it's very like kind of slice of lifey, but it's gorgeous to look at. I mean, it's super bright neon colors. I liked it. It's a little slow in the beginning, but about 20 or 30 minutes in, I really kind of fell for it. I think it's better than Transformers. It's worth the hour and a half it is to watch. But yeah, it's got a dumb name, like most good anime.
Like most good anime. Yeah, no, I saw it and I was going to watch it, but then I was like, oh, maybe this is something I would enjoy. Like, maybe this is something that Val would also enjoy. Do you think Val would also enjoy this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, then I'll save it for her.
That's it.
Nips, you were more excited about that than I've ever heard you be about anything. Your "Ooh, was it good?" was just so over the top. I was really excited about it.
I was really for me being excited.
I was like, man, I really hope he doesn't tell him it's not good, because I don't think he can handle it. Okay, so yeah, I watched a bunch of shit you guys recommended this week.
Yay!
And by a bunch of shit, I mean 2 shows. For Nips, I watched BoJack Horseman, and for Christian, I watched Doctor Who. I got a bit more of BoJack Horseman watch, not really because I like it, but because it's just a lot shorter. I'll go with BoJack first. The funny thing about BoJack is almost anybody who's told me anything about it just tells me about how depressing it is and what a horrible person BoJack kind of is. And I guess it must not speak to me very well that a lot of times I was just watching and was like, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. It really didn't find it that depressing. I was like, yeah, that's just what life is like. Yeah, right on. But yeah, I like the show a lot. It's one of those things I'm not really sure why I put off watching it so long. I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes once before and then just, I don't know, fell out of it for some reason and never got back. But yeah, I like it a lot. I particularly like Aaron Paul as Todd and Paul F. Tompkins as Mr. Peanut Butter. I think Paul F. Tompkins might be the funniest person on earth.
He might be.
I know I've said before that Dave Chappelle's the best stand-up comic, and I'll stand by that. But I think Paul F. Tompkins is just the funniest all-around human being. He could literally read the fucking phone book, and I would probably find it funny.
I want you to know her. I want you to know her. I follow Paul F. Tompkins on Twitter, and he tweets like you talk. A lot of times I read his tweets, and I think this is something Hurt would have texted me.
When I did Twitter, he had my absolute favorite series of tweets of all time, where he broke down Raiders of the Lost Ark, which basically his big problem with it was, that he fucking proves that God exists. And he and no one else cares about that part. He just goes about, after that, returning to his career of archaeology and murder. Yep. Nobody cares that he proved that the supreme being exists. That is a crazy aspect of that movie that I never thought of. But yeah, BoJack Horseman, I've watched about 2.5 seasons. My favorite episode is probably the BoJack Horseman show, the flashback to the Oddies episode. We're in Oddies nostalgia now, so when we start making teen comedies about that, I think they should reference that episode because that episode got it right.
Hurt, I want you to know that I've been thinking about you literally every day since you told me you're going to start watching this show, because I'm really tempted to start and just try and keep up with you. But I was like, no, I don't want to pressure him. I want him to get far enough that he's in it by himself.
Well, I mean, it would be really easy to not pressure me because I watch shit really slow. I probably would have gotten more of both of these shows watched if I hadn't started watching that YouTube wrestling show I talked about last week. That shit has really occupied my life. I very rarely binge shit, but I binged that shit. So as far as Doctor Who goes, I'd actually watched the first season when it came out on an iPod video. So I remember the words, but it was a little 1-inch screen. I don't really remember much of what the show was about because you can't really see it on that thing. That was a weird time in our lives when we would just watch TV shows on tiny little MP3 player screens. But so watching it again, I remembered having seen it before, but it was a lot better this time. This was probably the way to watch it. Things I really like about this show, and this is going to seem like a backhanded compliment, but I really mean it. I love that it looks shitty.
Yeah, of course.
That I love that it's do some of the work yourself. You're going to have some imagination to watch this. We so much these days, rag on anything that has shitty special effects. I love that it doesn't even really try to have good special effects. It just has a blueprint of what this is supposed to look like, and you make it look better in your head. I know a lot of people are down on the Eccleston season and that things really don't get underway until...
He's fucking great, dude. He's great.
He is great. I don't know why people dislike it so much. When I got to the Tenet stuff, I liked Tenet a lot too. I think a lot of people say that Tenet's better at the feel stuff, but he just gets more feels to do, it's not really a fair comparison. But I don't know. I like that Tenet made it really physical. I like that he's My history with Doctor Who in the past is I can remember when I was a kid, they would show the old shit on WSRE really late at night, and I'd watched a lot of that. And, that Doctor Who was always really cerebral and, stuff like that. I like that he was kind of a Doctor Who that would punch you in the face. Getting into the Tennant stuff, though, my favorite episodes of the ones I've watched so far is the one where the companion from the 70s showed up. And I just thought that one was really greatly just done great.
Yeah.
Because
Sarah Jane Smith coming up.
Sarah Jane Smith. Yeah. Because you didn't really have to, it gave you enough information for you to feel the things you were supposed to feel in that episode. I'm sure if you actually lived through those episodes, you felt it even more. But, I didn't have to know that it was sad when we thought the metal dog died.
Yeah.
They gave me enough information for me to understand that. So yeah, I don't know. It was mostly stick anyway, but I feel bad. I've been hard on this show for so many years. I will definitely continue to watch it and probably update you guys on both of them as I go further along. But better than Transformers, both of these shows. Thanks for the recommendation, guys.
I'm glad you like it. I did want to follow up. Did you recognize who the villain was in that Sarah Jane Smith episode?
I didn't. Who was it?
That's Anthony Head.
Oh, no. Yeah, I totally did. Totally did recognize that was Giles. Yeah, I've watched a bunch of season one, so I forgot that. But yeah, it was totally Giles. It's weird. I watched something at one else. Oh, yeah, because I was going to talk about this later, but I'll talk about it a little now. I'm watching another show you recommended, Christian. I'm watching fucking Ted Lasso.
So he's fucking slimy in that show, too.
He is so fucking awful in that show. That's a show just like, his ex-wife, you already dislike her so much. So it's so weird that someone can be so dislikable that you get on her side. But yeah, I'd basically watch those episodes back to back. I watched the Ted Lasso one first, and then the next day I watched that fucking the Sarah Jane episode with him in it. So I got a lot of Anthony Head. I'd forgotten that guy's really good.
Yeah, he's good in both of those roles. Ted Lasso's, I haven't talked about it. The second season's going on right now. It just started a few weeks ago, and the show's still strong. That show's, it's great. It's the best thing that's come out in the last 2 years, in my opinion. I'm glad you're giving it a shot.
Sarah's been out of town, so I've been sort of stalled on it. But we're watching that one together. But I really like it a lot.
Joseph,
I don't have that much this week. I watched for literally no reason. I rewatched The Great Gatsby, Baz Luhrmann's Great Gatsby.
There's no reason to watch that.
There's no reason. I knew it was bad. I don't know why I wanted to watch it, but I did. And it was bad. It's just it's so like it actually very squarely fits into the category of movies that are better on mute, because I think if you weren't listening to anything going on, your brain would fill in a better version of the movie that happens. I think the most frustrating bit is the casting is so fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
Everywhere.
It's so spot on.
So spot on. I mean, obviously DiCaprio, fucking what's
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. What's Indy Darling, whatever her face, Carey Mulligan.
Yeah,
My favorite bit of the casting is they've got Jason Clarke as whatever his name, Wilson the mechanic, and his wife cheats on Jason Clarke with Joel Edgerton, which I just think is fucking hilarious.
Obviously, she likes heads.
She likes a very specific kind of man.
Yeah,
a very specific kind of interchangeable man. I don't know. I think that's very funny.
I was just going to say, Carey Mulligan does connect back to Hert's topic. She's in a great Tenet episode of Doctor Who that I don't think you're at yet, but
the one I'm on right now is the one about television in the 50s and stuff like that. So I don't think I've gotten to that one yet.
Yeah, she's in a great episode, and she's good in Great Gatsby. But God, that movie's terrible.
Yeah, it's worse than Transformers. Definitely, like this era, Carey Mulligan is she's not quite. She's still under inside Llewyn Davis, Carey Mulligan for me, but she's a top tier. Which they're both awful people. I don't know why that's my thing, but it is my thing.
Dude, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Joseph, but did you guys hear the worst fucking news on earth?
No.
The Coen brothers might be done.
Oh, I did see that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I don't know if Jehu can handle that.
is Baz Luhrmann like? Is he actually good, or does he just keep making movies exclusively for 16-year-olds at that current moment?
I don't know. Like he's got a style. I'm not going to knock the dude. Like he's got a vision.
But you grow out of the style. Everyone grows out of the style.
Is it a good vision? I don't know.
At 14, think so. Everyone loves the style.
Yeah,
but when you hit 21, you're like, that kind of sucked.
I wonder if I'd still. Now you just make me want to go back and watch Romeo plus Juliet.
I loved Romeo plus Juliet, but then when Moulin Rouge came out, I didn't even want to watch it.
See, that's what I mean. Your age group is Romeo and Juliet. Our age group is Moulin Rouge.
Right. Christian's making a really compelling point here.
I think you might be onto something there. Totally.
Anyway, it's worse than Transformers still. Good soundtrack, not well used in the movie mostly. The only other thing I finished this week, I watched an anime that I couldn't even pitch to myself if I tried, if I pleaded with myself desperately, but I love it. It's called Zombieland Saga. The basic premise of the anime is 7 girls who died at various points in time are resurrected through ambiguous means to become a pop idol group whose whole intention of being resurrected is to save a small prefecture in Japan by inspiring them. And if that sounds fucking outrageously ridiculous to you, it's because it is. It's a comedy. It's very funny. It's zany, but it's got a good mix of laugh and heart. I didn't think I would do an idol anime, and I had been avoiding this one for a long time, even though a lot of people that I draw from tell me they like it. But I was in a lull in my scheduling, and I was like, let me give it a shot. And I love it. And I kind of hate that I love it because there's no way to justify just listening to 8 hours of 7 animated teenage girls sing at me. But I fucking love it. It's great. Zombieland Saga. No one will. I will buy you a fucking Real Phonies t-shirt if you watch this show. But no one on earth will watch the show besides me. Better than Transformers.
Sounds super dumb, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel you. I'm not going to justify it anymore. So next week, at the behest of our dear listener Chris, I've put Llamageddon on the docket, which is coming in at a hard 4.1 out of 10 on IMDb. It's on Tubi, so get excited for that. I have no idea what to expect. We did also get another suggestion from a close associate of the podcast, Susie, to do movies centered around animals, which I'm super down with, as long as it's not like Zootopia, but like George of the Jungle.
I'm super into movies about animals. Or centered around animals. I could get into that.
Not George of the Jungle. What's the fucking other gorilla movie? The Mighty Joe Young. That's what I mean.
Mighty Joe Young. Yeah.
George of the Jungle. I like a George of the Jungle Mighty Joe Young movie. That would also be fun. It doesn't matter. Anyway, those things are coming. There are probably didn't What If start this week?
I watched it today.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, we will probably talk about that eventually. We might save it until it's all done.
That worked well for Loki, I thought.
I think it did too. I'm not sure that our other format worked well, but people listen to it. Same amount that listen to everything else, so maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know how this fucking podcasting business works.
Obviously.
So cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Please continue to send in suggestions. Again, but I think that's really fun. I really like doing what you guys want us to do. If you want to get in touch with us and tell us your thoughts on Suicide Squad, you can reach us at realphonies@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Real Phonies, and on Instagram at Real_Phonies. Thanks to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. See you guys later.
Later.